We have time for one more before you head on up to Asheville. Let's hear it. Mark's got his guitar again. Mark and Maggie O'Conner here on WNCW.
This is a song that I also co-wrote with Joe Henry, a fantastic Grammy-winning lyricist, songwriter, artist, who's from these parts. And actually his father worked on the little train at Shelby Park back in the 50s and 60s. And so what a full circle.
Is this Joe Henry, the producer as well?
Yes.
Okay, so wow.
Yes.
So he's from around here, and his dad worked on trains. You learn something every day, folks.
The great
you could even
producer.
go ride that little train.
Yeah.
It's so cute. And
Yeah.
the carousel, it's a real gem that you have here. It's so beautiful. They restored it. It was from the 50s.
1953, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like every horse is painted and they named each one like with such care. And it's just really vintage and so cool. And I love it.
It all comes back to music or trains here at WNCW. In this part of the world, really.
So during the pandemic, Joe and I were writing songs, and this is an incredible lyric about taking a leap of faith together, and that's what Maggie and I have done with our music. This is called We Just Happen to Fly. Thank you so much for listening and watching out there. And we'll see some of you at Asheville tonight at Wortham Center, 8 o'clock.
I stand below it, a deep cloudless sky, where once we stood and then happened to fly. We held out the quick time and played to the dark that ended its reign with yet but a spark that fell away clean, the quietest star, lighting our way to be where we are. And we just happened to fly. 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 I listen out now where the mountain is still, that echoed our voices when only a hill. When time could run backward and forward the same, as the river slid free of their shape and their name, and rocked us together when we waded deep, and carried us on to a dream beyond sleep. And we just happened to fly. 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 The memory serving us well will define the way that the heart will speak to the mind. It stands on the road in front of us now, the past leading on with what it allows of tomorrow and all that tomorrow's may bring, up from the well where we gather to sing. And we just happened to fly. We just happened to fly. We just happened to fly. We just happened to And we just happened to fly. We just happened to fly. We just happened to fly. We just happened to fly.
Bridging old and new and such with Mark and Maggie O'Conner with anticipation of this new album coming out in April, and the first single being released, and wrapping up the session with that one. That's a great one. I know we got to wrap it up, but I got to ask, there is a song that we're playing now, a new single from Rhiannon Giddens, The Ballad of Sally Ann, and it's interesting to learn about it. And Alice Randall, who wrote the lyrics, has a new book and an album with it coming out with other African-American artists like Rhiannon, and it's powerful to be learning about the song. Oh my gosh, it's about lynching. And then last night I learned, well, Mark, you kind of were a co-writer too, because you helped to arrange it back in the day.
Yeah. So it was for the new Nashville Cats album.
Yeah.
This would be 1990. And I was celebrating the musicians in the session world, the country music sessions. And it was my big, kind of celebration of all the musicians I was playing with day in and day out in the studios back then. And I would have been in my late 20s. And it was, when I was compiling the guest list, which was like 60 to 70 musicians, there were almost no African-American musicians in Nashville working in the country music scene at that time. And I felt so horrible about that. And I knew one songwriter in the country music scene who was African-American, and that was Alice Randall. And our children were the same age and went to the same preschool. So I asked her if she wanted to write a song with me for the album, to have, some African-American experience with the new Nashville Cats. And I loved the old fiddle tune Sally Ann. We started talking about the origins of that and other old fiddle music from the South that was played originally here in the early 1800s, mid-1800s, and Sally Ann goes back. She did some research, and she came to me with an idea about rewriting the lyrics to that song. And that was sung by John Cowan of the Newgrass Revival on the album. And all these years later, 35 years later, Rhiannon Giddens reinterprets that song. What a powerful statement. And it's incredible to be a part of that, that small little history of just that one song with Alice. What a wonderful, amusing, just amazing talent. And historian, and she really is now exposing the true history of how African Americans were always involved with country music. It was just, kind of whitewashed out at some point in Nashville during the time I was there, which was sad to see. And hopefully those corrections are being made now.
Well, thank you for your part in the genesis of that song some 35 or so years ago, and thanks for continuing to tell the stories of the folks in the music industry and the makeup of our country. You all do it so well with all the different music styles you all bring together and the education you share, as you've talked about. Great educators, Mark and Maggie O'Conner, and fine musicians as well. It's been an honor to have you all here. Thanks for coming, guys.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Live Studio B sessions are brought to you by Sierra Nevada Brewing Company.